Hi, this is Ann Hayes. I'm a librarian at the CSI Library, and this video is going to be about using Google Scholar to find academic articles through the library. So rather than start here at the CSI Library homepage, where I normally would, I'm going to open a new tab and look for Google Scholar. So I just Googled Google Scholar. You could also look up scholar.google.com, and I'm going here. So Google Scholar is a sort of like portion of the internet that is scholarly output, which includes peer-reviewed academic articles, but it also includes, as you can see, case law, but it also includes open access articles. So they might have been peer-reviewed and then released open access online. So it's just kind of like a variety of stuff, but it does tend to be scholarly. So yeah, it looks like they actually have a little section down here on articles about COVID-19, and I could click any of these and see articles published in these various sources. But I think what I want for this is I want a kind of overview. I want to see what's out there. So I'm just going to type in COVID-19 and click search. Although, of course, it suggested a bunch of other stuff that I could also try. It does look like I've got about 3.5 million results, so that's a lot. And what I want to draw your attention to is, I guess, a few things. So running down the center here, these are the articles that came up. And I just have the title. I've got some authors here, date of publication, and this looks like where it was published. So Tropical Medicine and International Health, Nature, Reviews, Immunology. So these are the places where they were published. And then here's just a tiny little snapshot about what the article's about. Now, over here on the right, these are actually the links to the article. So this article here is basically just a record. It's not the actual full text of the article. And a lot of times the full text is not available. However, a lot of times it is available. So over here on the right, you've got these links. And I can kind of see some more information about these articles. So for instance, this is a .gov site. This one's ResearchGate, which this would involve a kind of more in-depth conversation, but ResearchGate is basically an open access portal where sometimes professors will release their articles that have not been published yet, or sometimes they have been published, but they're releasing a version of the article that doesn't have the publisher's pagination on it. So it's like basically the same thing. But yeah, so you can learn something about the articles also through their links. And it looks like, I mean, because the topic is COVID and because so many people have released their articles openly online so that you can read them for free, we actually have a ton of options here. Okay, I'm going to show you a few things about this, but one of them is how to do a more advanced search. So I'm going to click up here, and one of the options way down here is advanced search. So Google Scholar works way differently than your typical library database. So instead of combining different terms to create a kind of like narrower and narrower search, it's really just using keywords the whole time. And it allows me to do it like either all of the words with the exact phrase, which I'm doing here, at least one of the words. So that would be if I want a string of terms, but I don't care which one it uses. I can explicitly say don't include these words, which could be useful if you keep coming up with some certain kind of result that is not what you wanted. Yeah, you can also enter like a certain publication, a date range, or a particular author. So in this case, since I'm looking at Staten Island, I'm just going to try doing all of the words Staten Island. And I don't really need to use quotes around it because it's really saying use all of these words in the article. So presumably I can just do that. And where is my click? Here we go. I'm going to click search. So this is my way of narrowing the search down. And this is the way it kind of appears in the search bar. So that's fine. And yeah, I can see that some of these articles are the same ones that came up when I was looking in OneSearch, which is not surprising. That's actually kind of relieving, if anything. But yeah, so I'm getting a ton of stuff here. I can scroll down and see if any of these are really interesting to me. And again, I can see where they were not published, but where they live online. So this is hofstra.edu. This one's utexas.edu. So these are probably institutional repositories. So basically, again, this is when professors release their papers for free. I can see, for instance, that this one's from the CDC. So this would be obviously a government website. Yeah, and again, a government website. So if I want to ask it to include access to articles that I would have through the CSI library, what I would do is I'm going to, where is that special widget? Here we go. I'm going to these little dots and then I'm going to settings. And what I'm going to do is add a library link here. So right now it's just doing the open web, but I want to tell it that I have access of articles at College of Staten Island because this is where I go to school. So let's click search. It's going to look for my institution here. And it's saying, yeah, College of Staten Island, full text at CSI. That's correct. So I'm going to check it and include it and then click save. So now when I do my same search, so we're doing Staten Island COVID-19, you'll notice that in addition to these like, I don't know, jamonatwork.com, I've got full text at CSI link. So this is telling me that we have access to some of these same articles through our own institution, and in addition, we don't have access to some of these that seem to be elsewhere. So if I click, let's just do this one for example. If I click here, it should link me up to, and it's doing it right now. It's finding it at OneSearch. So this is my article, and again, I can choose from one of these as a place to look for it. So Academic OneFile, Academic Search Complete, and I would click here, and this is bringing me to the database where the full text of this article lives. This is especially useful if there's an article that's not fully available online, but it is available through the CSI library. Just because it's COVID-19, that's not happening as much, but that's only because of the specificity of the topic. But yeah, so now I'm in CNAL, Nursing Database. Here's the article that I want. Here's the full text of the PDF over here. Over here is my way to print it, email it to myself, or grab a citation for it. And of course, I'm choosing my style. Which one do I want? I'm not sure, but maybe this one, depending on what your professor wants. So that's how you use this. Now let me go back to here and let's try clicking this. So this should be the same article that is available at the CDC. And yeah, let's open it in Firefox. I kind of want to see. Oh, okay. It just dropped me into the article itself. Yeah, I guess this is fine because I can see where the publication is from and I can see when it was published. As long as there's like little details and crumbs so that I can see where I got this, because if you're going to cite from this, of course you really do need to know who is the author, where was this published, why should I trust this, basically. So this does include that information, but you know, if you're not sure about it, or if you feel sketchy about it, if there's a link to the database, that allows me to see very clearly all of this information right here. Right, and I can grab a citation for it. But yeah, it looks like it was published on the CDC, so it's not a peer-reviewed article, I don't think. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's the way that you would use Google Scholar. People love this because of the way that Google does its searches. So if you're in that category, you can totally use it to do your research. But just remember to click this over here, add the setting, and include the links at CSI because that'll help you out a lot. All right, thanks.